After 4 years of St. John's,
what in the world are you going to do with an education where you haven't learned something in particular?
I'm a nuclear engineer at Los Alamos National Laboratory.
I'm an architect.
I'm the general counsel of the President's Council on Bioethics.
I'm a cancer research physician at the City of Hope Cancer Center.
I'm an interior designer.
I'm the host of World of Opera for National Public Radio in Washington.
I'm a lawyer in New York City.
I'm a writer, producer, and director of film and television.
I am a minister.
Editorial writer and columnist with the New York Post.
I'm a high school English and math teacher.
I am a physician in infectious disease and internal medicine.
I'm Senior Vice President and Manager of Municipal Bonds for Oppenheimer Funds.
I'm a named inventor on over 150 filed applications and about 37 issued patents.
I'm a professional artist, painter.
I was the editor of Time magazine.
I just didn't want to come out of college knowing only how to do one thing.
I want to go to college so I can do anything I want for the rest of my life.
I think a St. John's graduate is pretty much qualified to do anything.
Anything I wanted to do, I could go do.
It's like the boot camp for life.
St. John's prepares people for life. If most schools are concerned with preparing them for a particular professional career, I would say that's a good thing, but it's just simply not enough.
What do you need to be able to meet all of the transitions in your life? You need to be able to think.
At St. John's, you begin to exercise your mind.
You need to be able to communicate what you understand.
I think that the writing program that we have at St. John's better prepares people for communication in written language than anything else I've ever seen.
You need to be able to hear how people respond to you and respond in kind.
The way the seminar structure is set up, where they have to be able to articulate their thoughts, trains them in an ability of personal expression.
The fact that this is a talking college and that the students speak far more and are far more engaged than in any other college that I've ever seen.
They find this very, very helpful in the world.
It's very hard in African tradition to talk to elders and have them swayed to your side. I went home this past summer, like I could do it.
They do it well because they don't think of it as their own speaking. They think of it as listening to what others say.
People with the diseases that I take care of desperately want somebody to hear them. So I think those listening skills and being respectful of their opinions are important in their care.
It makes them, in some situations, the natural leaders.
I'd sit across the table from the CEO of McDonald's, or the former president of Coca-Cola was an investor in the company. And I was able to sit there with people that were several generations older sometimes, which felt like something that St. John's was definitely giving to me.
In 1998, I put together a technology demonstration of non-proliferation nuclear technologies for Congress. And I couldn't have done that without my St. John's education. They have a flexibility, a suppleness of mind, and an independence that allows them to tackle anything the world throws at them.
A lot of my friends in the business world have told me that they love to hire our students because they're never told by them that they can't do this work because they never studied it in school. They're used to doing things that they haven't studied in school.
St. John's students are ready to engage with what it is in front of them, and they're ready to sit and think their way out of that situation.
I created the TV series MacGyver. He has a fundamental understanding of the way things in the world work, very much in the St. John's tradition. We could throw this character into a situation where he's got nothing more than a Swiss Army knife and a roll of duct tape, and he's going to figure a way out of it.
Really didn't even study computers at all when I was at St. John's and didn't know anything about them. And suddenly I'm inventing computer systems for what turned out to be one of the largest internet companies that there are.
Strangely enough, we end up sending more students to careers in the sciences and mathematics than the nationwide average.
I never planned on going into nuclear engineering.
I actually became interested in medicine while I was here.
I had a student who had never taken laboratory science until St. John's. To this day, she's a fabulous doctor, and I can guarantee if she hadn't come to St. John's, she wouldn't have become a doctor.
I feel like St. John's makes you really light on your feet.
In the world of Wall Street, things happen very quickly and intensely, and people get very bound up in them. And then you see them when they turn 45 or so, wake up and say, wait a minute, what have I been doing for 20 years of my life?
People are generally not ready to question why they're doing things, but I think here we ask questions like why? Like, why do I want to do this before I put so much energy into it?
I really overworked myself in high school because I had to get into a good college and I had to have a career that would pay enough to live. But now, it's not that I don't care about the future, it's that the future doesn't worry me. It's like somehow I have some sort of courage.
The courage or the audacity to jump into things they don't really know so much about.
The courage to try many, many things in life and not be afraid to, in some way, follow your dream.
I started becoming an artist when I was at St. John's. I found that the college is an incredibly flexible place. It's kind of like a template upon which you can fix your own dreams.
It's not about what you want to be, but who you want to be.
I bet a lot of them ended up doing things that they didn't know they wanted to do, but discovered they really wanted to do.
When a lawyer was asked how St. John's prepared him for his job as a lawyer, he said, well, it taught me how to read critically, and it taught me how to analyze arguments, and it taught me how to speak in a public forum. And when a farmer was asked how St. John's prepared him for farming, he said, well, what did St. John's teach me about farming? Absolutely nothing. But what did St. John's teach me about why I needed to be a farmer? Absolutely everything.
St. John's is an education in probably the fullest sense, because you will keep doing what you did at St. John's the rest of your life.
I became what I did. I am what I am solely because of the St. John's experience.
My grandfather died, left me 1,000 acres of land. That was a sign from him saying, this fellow is the one I'm putting my trust in.